I believe we are here, Brian, to discuss the WWE Night of Champions Gold Rush.
Well, it's Clash of Champions, Vinny, but...
Son of a bitch. This is the most creative ladder match I've seen in years and years and years and years and years.
I figured it would be good. I did not figure that it would be, perhaps, the greatest WWE match of the pandemic era. You guys are killing each other in front of TVs.
Basically doing a match at Best Buy.
Yes, exactly. The storyline is that Tozawa was eaten by a shark on Raw last week.
Beg your pardon?
Yes. Vinny, he was eaten.
I mean, it happens.
By a shark. Sometimes a person is gone because they have COVID, but sometimes they are gone because they came into contact with someone with COVID, and thus they were removed from the show.
He's drooling everywhere, at which point Samoa Joe says, Orton is leaking, but not the way that I'm used to.
What? Roman's great. He's the greatest. He is the best heel. I love this character. It's his island. He's the head of the table. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar now just sounds like the greatest match ever. The two baddest motherfuckers you ever saw. Granny, what is going on over there?
I never get any company.
Oh, get out of here. Do we have to start with that?
Well, you asked me. I'm telling you.
I didn't ask for a guilt trip. I asked you how you were doing. You didn't have to just launch into guilt.
That's all I know.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how handsome is Leslie Nielsen?
4.
Oh, 4?
4?
Wow.
He's regal and dignified, man.
I was going to say, that's a handsome man. Who's a 10 then, Granny?
I'd have to say Elvis was handsome.
Okay, there we go. He was more handsome than Leslie Nielsen.
I know you usually skip wrestling questions, but this is a good one. What do you think of the Retribution names?
The what?
Who do you want to kiss, Granny?
Oh.
Elvis, Undertaker, or Lance?
Lance.
Kiss Lance.
Lance is going to be so happy.
I would choose him too.
Yeah, actually, given the options.
I'm thinking here. Somebody came in.
Christian.
Okay. Christian
and then Shawn
came
Michaels.
In. No, Christian came in, and then who was that?
Shawn Michaels was next.
No, there was
Yes,
another
it was Big Show, Christian, and then Shawn Michaels. I watched the match on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, Big Show.
Thank
That's right.
you.
I missed him. Okay.
No, you talked about him already. Well, fantasy football, Vinny.
I am now 0-3 in the Wrestling Observer Fantasy Football League. I am 3-0 in my work league, which is a bunch of sports analytics people.
And is it true nobody is now undefeated after my loss?
I believe that is true.
I'm still going to win this fucking thing. He was the champion last year, so I'm not going to cut a promo on the guy.
Well, you lost.
I did lose, but barely.
That's never stopped him before.
I almost beat this guy. Major League Baseball Rain Delay did like 1.571 million viewers. I think it beat the third hour of Raw. A rain delay.
Yes.
I believe beat the third hour of Monday Night Raw. I was dying. It also beat NXT and AEW, so what can you do?
Every week, I kind of expect her to make more sense or get used to her, and the opposite is happening. Her weirdness is getting weirder and weirder. Why is it so important for this woman to welcome us all to the ball pit?
The easiest video to make. I mean, you put a camera on the guy, you ask him some questions, and when it's over, it's like, this guy's our top babyface right now.
Yes, he actually, I hadn't thought about that. But yes, NXT is desperately needed a top babyface. Now they have one. 3
torn ACLs in the span of 4 years at 25 years old. Like, most people, if you tear your ACL 2 times, like, that's it. And obviously there are exceptions. But, wow, that sucks.
The Cameron Grimes Invitational Stepping Stones to the Moon match. He's doing mid-air arm bars. He's stopping this poor guy into unconsciousness. And he's got this guy helpless down on the ground. And he can tap him out whatever he wants to. But he winds up like a baseball pitcher, and he cranks in that hammerlock, and he taps out frantically. Kushida's the best. Just let him kill people every week for my amusement.
I know people think that I hate Dexter Lumis. I'm sure he's a fine fella. Probably a little weird. But I mean this with all due respect. I totally forgot he was gone.
People are going to be pissed off when I say this, but the reason this match was so fun is that it was put together and finished like a Dynamite match. Everything that happened for a reason. Everything that happened was given time to sink in and mean something. And everything that happened either set up something at the end of the match or paid off something that happened earlier. So it was just so much fun.
On Wednesday nights, I just sit and I text people to make sure that everyone's alive after the shows.
Suddenly I find myself on a show with Rosario Dawson and Jennifer Nettles and Snoop Dogg, who he called a piece of Americana.
She's jumping the rail and beating people up. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we're in the middle of building up a giant match for next week on free television. What is going on here, and why are we taking attention away from Cody and Brodie Lee?
Tony starts to speak up and say something, but before he can get very far, Matt Jackson super kicks him.
They got a stunt foot to convince you that Nick was there on this show.
This is exactly what FTR accused Chris Daniels of doing.
Yes.
Now they actually did it and they won. This is why I made the comparison about the NXT main event being like a Dynamite match, because that's rare on NXT. It's common on Dynamite. Now, the finish is a payoff of something else that happened earlier. It all makes sense.
You know what this match reminded me of? When you tell a joke and it's funny, and then you keep telling the joke and it's not funny anymore. But you keep going, and then it gets funny again.
I see your point. There's a bit of almost like a I'll go ahead and say a romantic tension where they actually want to be together, but they both want the other guy to be the one to say it first.
Some people, when they get hurt, they come back and they have ring rust. And some people, when they hurt, they come back and they're like just as good as when they left. She came back better than before she got hurt, and I don't even know how.
There's a point where he's down and he's just on the mat, spread eagle, with one arm over his head and his other one on his heart. I legitimately thought he was having a heart attack.
It wasn't even a bad match.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, it wasn't. Trust me, it
wasn't a good match.
It had to be the worst match that Moxley has had in AEW.
It was probably the worst AEW title match I've seen.
Sure. When I review them both, and when I review NXT first, and then we review AEW second, and all of the things that I loved on AEW until that main event, I'm going tie.
Yeah, I kind of hate to do it because we've both done tie now 3 weeks in a row, but I'm also doing tie. Again, don't overthink it. I enjoyed both shows.
No, you should not feel bad. This is just a fun thing we do, Vinny. God damn it. It's fun.